Hey y'all, welcome to the Chapter 4 review. You guys are so excited because you get to see all the pretty colors. We'll go ahead and get started with number 1. We are going to use this name right here, the two triangles. Triangle RSP is congruent to triangle FOE, and we're going to name all of our corresponding parts. And then once we rearrange the letters, one triangle, we'll rearrange the others correspondingly. So the first thing we're going to see here is we're looking at what angle is congruent to angle S. So if I look over here, angle S is my middle letter. So it's going to correspond with my middle letter of angle O. This part's going to go kind of quickly. Next, we're going to see I'm looking at angle P. Angle P is the last letter. So angle P will correspond with the last letter in the second triangle. It will be congruent to angle E. Lastly, for the angles, because we only have 3 angles, we have angle R. We see R is the first letter in the triangle, so it corresponds with the first letter in the other triangle, making angle R congruent to angle F. Let's take a look at our sides that create segments. The first one we're going to look at here is going to be segment FO. We see that FO is the first, then middle letter, so we need to go to the first, then middle letter of the other triangle. So segment FO will correspond with segment RS, making segment FO congruent to segment RS. Next, we see segment EO. EO is going to go from the last to the middle letter, so we need to go from the last to the middle letter on the other triangle. So segment EO will correspond with segment PS, making them congruent. Then we have segment EF. If we look over here, we're going from the last letter to the first letter, EF, so we're going to go from the last letter P to the first letter R. So we're going to, segment EF will be congruent to segment ER. Sorry, I'm looking at 2 different ones here, aren't I? EF will correspond and be congruent to segment PR, not ER, PR. Now we rearrange our triangle's letters around. We're going to figure out what order we need to rearrange the other triangle's letters around. So on here, I see that I have segment SRP. So in my original triangle up here, S was in purple. This is the middle letter. So it's going to correspond with O. So that's going to become the first letter now. Then we had R, which R corresponded, it was the first letter. So it's going to correspond with the first letter of the second triangle, F. And then finally we have P, which corresponded with letter E. So triangle SRP will be congruent to triangle OFE. All your pretty colors too to help you out. Number 2, we now are going to use our actual shapes and our congruent markings to determine what's going to be congruent. The angles we do need to know, understand, and be able to read angles with 3 letters. So let's go ahead and get started and figure out what angles are going to be congruent to what. The first thing we have is angle CAB. So we're going to go from C to A to B, remembering that middle letter is where the vertex is going to be. Okay, CAB is going to correspond and be congruent to, well here we started at C, we went down the side with the 2 tick marks and then up the side with the 3 tick marks. So over here we're going to go down the side with the 2 tick marks and up the side with the 3 tick marks, leaving our vertex at point D. So we have to follow the same order. C went down the 2 tick marks to A, E goes down the 2 tick marks to D, then back up to F. So it would be angle EDF. And if you notice that middle letter again is where we put the congruent mark. It's where the vertex is of the angle. Next, we'll take a look at angle DFE. So we're going to go from D down the 3 tick mark side to F over to down the 1 tick mark to the E. So again, that middle letter, F, is where the angle is going to be. So we went from D, the 1 arc, down to F, over to E. So over here, we need to go start at where the 1 tick mark is. We're going to go down the 3 tick marks to B over to C, making B congruent to F, but we want to make sure we're using our 3 letters, angle A, B, C. And again, that middle letter is where that angle's vertex is. Next angle is going to be angle FED. So we go from F to E to D. So we start at where I have my 2 arcs, go down the 1 tick mark side, up the 2 tick mark side, okay, making E the vertex, that middle letter there. So over here we'll start at the 2 arcs, the angle that corresponds with F. We're going to go down the side that corresponds to the 1 tick mark, and then over to angle A, the vertex being at C, making angle C and E congruent. The order of the letters went F, E, D, so we need to say angle B, C, A. Again, that middle letter where that angle marking is, the little arcs. So let's take a look at our sides, which are pretty much easier, because they're already marked for us. Not too bad, right? Take a look at the first one is segment AB. We look over here. Segment AB has the 3 tick marks. So we need to find the side over here that has the 3 tick marks, but we have to follow the correct order. We went from A to B, which was A corresponded with D, B corresponded with F. So A to B is congruent to segment DF. Then we have segment FE. We look over here. Here's FE on the other triangle. We have 1 tick mark. So over here we have 1 tick mark. The order is F to E. So here, my colors, blue to orange. I need to go blue to orange here, BC. So be congruent to segment BC. Then we have segment CA. CA is going to be the 2 tick marks, congruent with the other side's 2 tick marks. We went from C to A. C corresponded with E. A corresponded with D. So segment ED. Next, we will rearrange our letters like we did. Triangle. Now we started off with F, okay, and F right here was my 2 tick marks, or if you're using colors, my blue. So I need to find that corresponding one. It's going to be B. Next, we're going to find which angle corresponds with angle D. Angle D and angle A correspond. And lastly, E corresponds with C. So triangle FDE is congruent to triangle BAC. Now we're going to take our congruency statements of our triangles and we're going to rearrange the letters to see if the person rearranged the letters correctly. So what I like to do is go ahead and have our 3 colors. If you're not doing 3 colors, you can figure out another way around it. Just remember what order everything goes in. Here we have, get my correct colors ready. Triangle A, B, C. A is going to correspond with X. I'm going to go ahead and do this on all of them so it's ready to go. And then I'm going to have B correspond with Y. So I'm going to go just prepare them, the other 2. And then lastly, I have C corresponding with Z. So I need to look in the other set of triangles and see, do they follow this? If I rearrange them one way, is the other triangle rearranged the exact same way? So on the second statement here, we have a triangle BCA. So I'm going to get my colors here. B was in pink, and C was in my purple, and A was in my blue. We got to see if the other one follows the same order. Okay, Y over here was pink. Z, I see, was my purple, or my last one. And then X was blue. So we look at the order of the colors and say, is this true or false? Here I have pink, purple, blue, pink, purple, blue. They are in the exact same order, so we have it true. We take a look at number 4 here. A, we have, go ahead and do our corresponding letters here, A. Then we have B and my C. Take a look at the other one, X, I had in blue. Z, I look over here, I had in purple. And Y I had in pink. Now I look at it, I see blue, pink, purple, blue, purple, pink. So they're not following the same order. Therefore, this is false. It is not a correct congruency statement. Number 5, we see that we've got B, C, A. We take a look at the second triangle, and I have Z, and I'm just matching my colors up, Y, and X. Take a look at my colors, and I have pink, purple, blue, purple, pink, blue. So we're not following the exact same order, so this is another false. Okay?